Hello, in this video series, we'll discuss about AngularJS, like what is AngularJS, why we use AngularJS, how to use AngularJS, what are directives, scope, MVC, and many new terms. But before that, let me give some basic idea about AngularJS. So, it is a framework that is found by Google. As it is a JavaScript framework, automatically question arises in our mind, which are other JavaScript frameworks and why we need to use it instead of already present framework. So, my friend, AngularJS is also inspired from framework like Embedded.js and Knockout.js. But there are many points that are really pretty present in AngularJS. First and foremost question that comes in our mind by hearing term AngularJS is what is AngularJS? The answer is it is a JavaScript framework that is used to build front-end application, and most important thing is it is open source and freely available from angularjs.org. As we will go further in this course, you will have confusion like is it a framework or is it a library? So my friend, one thing we need to remember is framework can have multiple library but library cannot have framework. So library is, we can say like that, it is a part of framework. Same like other framework, it is also have some rules that we need to follow. But those rules we will discuss later. But before that, if you want to see applications that are built using AngularJS, you can visit madewithangular.com. Okay, at this point of time we have some definitional knowledge about AngularJS, but question is still there. Why should we use AngularJS? So let's find out answer of this question by understanding several points like two-way binding, dependency injection, SPA framework, and DOM manipulation. If you don't know about these terms, don't worry, I'll explain all these points in detail. So let's start by understanding two-way binding. Many times this two-way binding is also known as MVVM, where MVVM stands for model view model. View is something that users see and model is something that is used to handle data, or you can say values. In Angular, whenever view changes, automatically model gets changed. Let's understand it by simple program. This is the code that we are using for AngularJS, but for right now forget this code. We will just focus and concentrate on result of this code. Okay, so this is the result that we are getting from that AngularJS code. So what is actually happen here, that if I am typing let's say XYZ, it will automatically get reflect here. So what is actually happen is when I have typed here, it will automatically reflect to model, and model automatically reflect this paragraph. So it's called MVVM. Why? Because whenever our view changes, it will reflect to model, and when model changes, it will reflect to our view. Now let me tell you about second benefit of AngularJS, that is SPA, where SPA stands for single page application. In front-end application we can use either traditional method or we can use single page application. In next slide we will see that how SPA is useful to front-end application. In order to compare traditional way of coding and SPA, let me give you some basic idea about traditional way of coding in HTML. As you can see on your screen, there are two parts. First one is left side and second one is right side. In both of them, first one is index page of www.exmple.com and second one is sub link of that website. But when user click on link to or any other URL, whole entire page will going to be reload. But in AngularJS with using SPA, that thing will not going to be happen. But in SPA single page application, whole part is divided into different part, and based on users clicks, that particular part is going to be changed. Now consider this page as it is divided into different parts like header, sidebar and content. Let's say user is clicking on link 1, same as our previous example, but now twist is only content part is going to be changed, not whole part. So this is the concept of single page application. In SPS style of coding, URL is also changed with content, so user can bookmark particular page. This was problem with other framework that is resolved in this AngularJS. So basically in SPA there are 2 points that you should remember. First one is only particular part is changed, and second one is with that particular part URL is also going to be changed. Next benefit of Angular is DOM manipulation, where DOM stands for Document Object Model. It is a programming interface for HTML, XML and SVG document. And using DOM you can change content of particular part of web page. In Ajax and jQuery, before accessing any element of web page, first we need to find it using class or ID. But in Angular, whole funda is different. But before that, let me give you idea about DOM tree. DOM is having tree object and HTML is a root element of DOM tree. If you want to access element of document, then you need to go through this tree. Let's say you want to change text of title of web page. Then first you need to find document, after that head part, after that title, and last value of that title. From many years we are using JavaScript, jQuery and many other framework for DOM manipulation. If we use JavaScript, then we need to write document.getElementById and name of that particular element. And if we are using jQuery, then we need to use identifier like dot for class name, hash for IDs or any other HTML element. But in Angular, we can create our customized element with presence of current HTML tags and attributes. These customized tags and attributes are called directives in Angular. As it uses tags that are already present in HTML, we can say that it extends HTML. These directives are used to provide direction to application. ngapp is a root directive, so any Angular application is start from this attribute. So now let's start Angular by using some of directives.